Today we're talking about our top two long axle-to-axle carbon bows. We've got the PSE Mach 35 versus the RX9 Ultra. If you're on the fence about which one to get, this video's for you. Let's talk about it. All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us today. Zach and JR here with Extreme Outfitters. So carbon bows, incredibly popular bows, but there's a lot of guys looking for those longer draw length options, right? And these are our top two, I would say, contenders for our long axle-to-axle bows when it comes to your premium carbon bow options, right? So we've got our PSE Mach 35 and our RX9 Ultra, and we're gonna put these head to head, kind of compare the specs on them and see how they perform, how they feel, how they hold, and our overall thoughts on them. But getting started with them, we've got the Hoyt RX9 Ultra for you guys. So this bow comes in at an axle-to-axle length of 33.5 inches. It's got a brace height of 6 3/8 of an inch. It's got speeds up to 340 feet per second, draw length options from 26 all the way to 32 inches. You can get draw weight options of 40 to 80 pounds, and the overall bow weight is 4.3 pounds. So Hoyt, incredibly durable bows, great bow. It's going to be a really great option for people. What about the PSE Mach 35? What are the specs looking like on that, JR?
Yep, so we're looking at an axle-to-axle length of 35 inches. The brace height is 7 1/4 inches. Speeds of up to 328 feet per second. The draw length ranges from 27 to 32.5 inches. Draw weight options are from 50 to 80 pounds, and the overall weight is coming in at 3.9 pounds.
Similar, but different, right?
Correct.
So what is your thoughts initially right on the bow? What are we looking at kind of the big differences between these two bows?
So really the biggest difference obviously is going to be the axle-to-axle length. So the Mach 35 is a little bit longer than the RX9 Ultra, but not terribly drastic.
Right. You hold them side by side, they're very comparable.
One thing that I really love about both of the bows, so let's start off with the Hoyt. I love the 1/4 inch draw length adjustments. So if you really want to fine tune your draw length, you can do it super easily. And then also with that mod system, it should hopefully give you a little bit more performance out of it and a little bit more efficiency out of it, especially if you're at the top part of that mod.
Top part of the mod, yeah. So, and that is one of the big differences, right? So PSE's got their one rotating mod that accommodates all the draw lengths, and Hoyt has reintroduced multiple mods in order to capitalize on a little bit more speed based off your draw length.
Yep. And then going over to the PSE, I love their precision bus tuning system. Super easy to be able to tune your bow, and the Easy 220 shim system is phenomenal in my opinion too.
Agreed. So Hoyt is known for having the most durable bows on the market. From all of our experience, I believe. I mean, we've put them through the test, customers' reviews. Hoyt is an incredibly durable bow, but their tuning system is a little bit more intricate. And requires a little bit more time, but the thing about it is when you put that bow in time, when you tune that bow, you don't have to worry about any issues with the Hoyt bow. And that's the difference between the PSE, right? The PSE is a little bit simpler with their Easy 220 shim system. We can pop those shims out, shim that cam nice and fast. The Hoyt, you still have to take the axles out and actually replace the shims and put them back in. But it's a very tried and true and robust system.
100%.
So from there, both the bows have your pick mounts option so that you can attach your pick mounted sight, or you could run your standard dovetail off to the side. And they both allow for you to integrate rests into the rear of the riser, so you get that nice low profile look and feel, which is pretty much standard across the board with all your bows now.
Yes, I really love what PSE did for their integrate system is with Hamskea, for example, you can actually run the core interface on there, so you can mount that thing directly to the back of the riser with that core mount.
Which is even more low profile than what the Hoyt option gets, because you have to use their universal bracket with the Hamskea, which does stick off to a little bit to the side, but honestly, it doesn't make a big difference.
Correct.
But I think the PSE does look a little cleaner with that rear integration. When you look at cams on these bows, the PSE EC2 cam, hands down to me, one of my favorite cams on the market. It's incredibly smooth. We've talked about it, we preach. You know, the PSE has done a fantastic job with that cam from the Mach 30s, Mach 33, 35s, their entire lineup. It's just a very smooth and efficient cam. You still get good speeds out of the bows, even these longer axle-to-axle bows with this EC2 cam, which honestly was a little bit surprising to me.
Yes, especially like we did our Mach 35 video a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And I was actually very shocked with the speeds we were getting at that lower draw length too.
Right, because I said if you're looking for, you know, high speeds out of bow, this probably isn't it. Take my words back, PSE did a fantastic job with this because we got really, really good speeds out of that bow, even at the shorter draw lengths, which, again, very surprising. Hoyt this year is their RX9 Ultra or RX9 series is faster than their RX8 series with that new mod system. But you do get a little bit stiffer of a draw cycle on the bow. Still an incredible cam, but it is a little bit stiffer, in my opinion, on the draw cycle.
Correct. I 100% agree, and it's still a very smooth cam, especially in that the HBX Gen 4 that they have on that bow.
Absolutely. Two different grip options, right? So you're shooting bear riser with your Mach 35, and the Hoyt comes with the little bit of the, what is it, the Vital grip?
Yes.
Which is, again, very low profile, streamlined, but it does got that rubber coating on it, or grip option, which to me, I really like both grips. They both are very repeatable in my opinion and just feel really good. I'm shooting a PSE Mach 30 for the last year and a half or 2 years, and I've shot bear riser and have had really good results with it. And to me, it's been a tack driver. So,
yes.
What do you think?
To caveat could be with their full draw stability system that they have, that they've kind of engineered into the bows over the last couple of years. So I think that might have maybe something to play with it, but no telling.
Agreed, it does. Just great. Both great options for people. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually head over to our range and we're gonna shoot the bows. We're gonna shoot them at two different draw lengths for you guys, 28.5 inches and 30 inches to kind of give you guys some different idea of what the cam feels like at each of those draw lengths, and then what speeds we're getting with this 450 grain arrow out of it. So JR, let's grab the bows, head over the range. All right guys, so we didn't mention it. JR, these bows, they're long axle to axle bows. They're not gonna be for everybody,
correct,
right? So who do you think who would benefit from these longer axle to axle bows?
In my opinion, somebody over a 30-inch draw length would be my best pick for it, best ideal pick for it.
Yeah, because these things go 32 inches all the way to 32 and a half. So it's gonna be anybody that's got a longer draw length too, shooting those a little bit shorter axle to axle bows, string angle can become an issue for them. This eliminates that issue, right? This long axle to axle gives you that nice forgiving string angle, which in turn too, these got a little bit longer brace heights. These should be a more forgiving platform as well.
On top of somebody wants a hybrid bow, or if you would like a bow for out west, these would be great options for that too.
Yeah, even at maybe you're a little bit shorter draw lengths, right? If you wanted something specifically like for tack, for example, this is gonna be a great option to shoot those long distances for somebody that maybe have a 28.5 inch, 29 inch draw length. Very forgiving platform, and they're incredibly light too.
Correct.
For as long as of a bow as it is, it's a lightweight package.
It is.
All right, guys, let's compare the weight on these two bows. So they both have a whisker biscuit on it and how they came from the factory with their stabilizers on them. The Mach 35 coming in at 4.6 pounds. Pretty light.
Yep.
It's a lot of bow.
It is. And then we've got the Hoyt RX9 Ultra, which is advertised at 4.3 pounds, and we are at 4.7 pounds roughly.
So there's a 0.2 pound difference in the bows. So very, very similar. Not bad.
Yep, I like it.
I do like it as well. So we're gonna shoot them at 28.5 inches first. We're gonna do a 3 arrow group for you guys, get an average speed, and then we're gonna move them to 30 inches and see what the speeds are looking like. And then we're gonna talk about too, grip on the bow, draw cycle, kind of our overall thoughts and feelings on them. So let's get started with the Mach 35. I'm gonna put our little hand scale on it, see what we're actually pulling, so they're similar in draw weight. This is the PSE Mach 35 at 28.5 inches, and our let off for both these bows is gonna be 85%. Okay, so this is pulling right at 69 pounds, holding 8.9 pounds. And then we've got our Hoyt RX9 Ultra. Pulling right at 69 pounds, holding 9.3 pounds.
Yeah.
We will start with our RX9 Ultra. All right, 3-shot group, 28.5 inches, pulling right at 70 pounds, 85% with a 450 grain arrow through our Garmin chronograph. Very consistent. So we got a 3-shot average of 276.7 feet per second with that 450 grain arrow at 28.5 inches. To me, that's not bad at all.
No, Not at all.
Especially for that long axle to axle. Yeah. So let's compare that now to the Mach 35 at the same specs. All right, Mach 35, right at 70 pounds, 85% let off with this 450 grain aero at 28.5 inches. So we got a 3-shot average of 263.9 feet per second. So there's like a 13 foot per second difference between the two bows. So you do get a little bit more speed at 28.5 inches with that mod system, it seems like, out of the Hoyt. But not drastic, but there is a little bit of a difference.
No. And I mean, if you look at the specs as well, so I mean, the Hoyt is listed to be faster anyway. So
yep.
It pretty close with that.
It is. But one thing I'll tell you about the bows is the EC2 cam is definitely a little bit smoother from beginning to end in draw cycle. The Hoyt is a little bit stiffer, but you know, you get a little bit more speed, you can kind of expect that. So we're gonna go ahead and swap these over to 30 inches for JR. He's gonna do the same tests and see what the speeds look like. All right, guys, so we do wanna just clarify, the RX9 Ultra, we didn't say in the beginning, comes in 2 options. It comes in your standard draw length and then your long draw. So we are shooting the standard draw length option, and that cam goes to 31 inches. Right. Long draw, if you wanna go out to that 32, you need to get the different cam option for that bow.
Okay. So we have this now at 30 inches, should be roughly 70 pounds. We're going to test that on both. It's got that little bit of dump at the end, but still very smooth. 69.3, holding 7.5 pounds. And the Mach 35, same test. Yeah, that's smooth the entire way through, a little short of valley. 70 on the dot, holding 9.9 pounds. Now on to the speed test. So we have the RX9 Ultra, 30 inches of draw, 70 pounds roughly, and a 450 grain aero. Okay, so 3-shot average, we are looking at 289.4.
Fast,
Very fast. Very good draw cycle, very good back wall, very good valley. Now on to the Mach 35.
Before you do that, so what did you think? We just talked about the, you know, the cam on the bow. How did you feel about the RX9 versus the RX8 cam?
It is a little bit more stiff, especially towards the back. And once you're hitting that valley, it is a little bit stiffer right there, but overall still a very smooth cam in my opinion.
It is. You can definitely feel it start to build, but then it rolls over, and it's honestly pretty pleasant as it rolls into that valley, right? And the valley in that bow, I think, is pretty forgiving.
It is very forgiving.
Yeah, you can really you can relax on that bow. You kind of have to, even at 85%, you've kind of got to force it down when you let the bow down.
Correct.
Yeah.
On to the Mach 35 now. 30 inches at 70 pounds with a 450 grain aero. Okay, 3-shot average. We are at 279.6.
So right on the dot, 10 feet per difference as far as speed goes. So they're close, but the Hoyt is advertised as a little bit faster of a bow, and it's true, you do get a little bit more speed out of it.
Yep. And it's also, the Mach 35's longer axle to axle by 1.5 inches.
Yeah, so that's to be expected. A little bit longer brace height as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Very smooth cam. I mean, night and day difference between the Hoyt and the PSE, in my opinion. The PSE is a lot smoother. It does have, for me, that little bit of dump towards the end, but it's a very forgiving platform, in my opinion, with that cam too.
Yeah, I agree. You can definitely tell a difference when you go to draw the bows back, and after you shoot the RX9 and then you go to that Mach 35, the RX9 Ultra, and you draw them back, the draw cycle with that EC2 cam on all of the platforms that it's on is just smooth. Very, very smooth beginning to end, but there is a little bit more dump on the back half, I think, as well. But you get good speeds out of it, but if you're looking for more speed, that RX9 seems to outperform it a little bit speed-wise.
Correct.
So going into that, pros and cons. Pros and cons, one versus the other, JR. What are your thoughts as far as pros?
Pros, they're going to be great for out west, or great as a hybrid bow if you're looking for something like that option. So that is going to be a really nice pro. I mean, one of the cons, it's going to be more focused on us per se, on Eastern North Carolina or East Coast. These are very long bows, so I would I wouldn't want to be a big fan of taking this up into a tree stand or something, but
Yeah.
still could be done, obviously, no
Yeah,
problem.
if you obviously have that longer draw length, this is definitely going to fit you. But for our shorter draw length guys, hunting out of a tree stand, it is a little bit longer, so it'd be a little bit more cumbersome, kind of getting through the woods around here. The other cons I would say with these bows, these are carbon bows. These are your high-end bows, right? So these are top-of-the-line flagships. You're looking at price point, and price point on these things is right around $2,000 for these. So again, it's not a bow for everybody, but the guys that are looking to shave weight, need a little bit longer axle to axle, this is going to be the best options, in my opinion, for you.
Correct. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, RX9 Ultra versus the Mach 35, high-end, high-quality, high-performing pieces of equipment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The other thing too, looking at them, we got they're different riser designs, right? So we know for a fact the PSE bows are made here in the United States, all hand-laid carbon, touched by just a handful of people. Lead times are a little bit longer on the Mach series, but they've been faster, right? I think we've been 4 to 6 weeks here, and they've been turning over really good. But the quality control on these bows has been incredible. I think performance-wise, consistency, PSE has really nailed it.
Finish work has been awesome.
Yeah, the finishing on the bows has been incredible. The mossy oak bottomlands, I think, is probably our most popular, and it looks super clean.
It does.
But Hoyt also, when it comes to durability and just a robust, heavy-duty bow that you can really just set it up and forget it almost when it comes to tuning, I mean, you can't beat a Hoyt bow.
Yep.
I mean, just incredibly durable and rugged. We ran one over, and it still shot and still performed exceptionally well.
A few flaws on it, but it still works.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, and I think really a lot of that attributes to their tech riser, which has been in Hoyt's lineup now for, I think, going on over 30 years. That's this part of here right here, which helps reinforce the riser.
Yeah, and we've put it to test. Clearly very durable. You hold them up side by side. I mean, very, very similar as far as overall lengths. Clearly the Mach 35 is a touch longer, but both are clean looking bows, man. I like the design of the riser on both. Both hold really, really well. This, I feel like, has a little bit more of a forgiving valley than the Mach 35. But I personally think I like the Mach series grip a little bit better for me. And I know that's very personal.
Yes, I've shot both bows while I had an RX5, so very similar on the grip, a little different from there. That was the last Hoyt that I had. And I've had a couple PSEs in between there as well, and I can't agree more. They're both very stable grips.
They are, yeah, very repeatable, which is important in archery, right? You want something that's repeatable so you can do the same thing consistently in order to become and be consistently accurate. And both grips are great, but I lean towards that little bit more low profile Mach series grip than I do the Hoyt grip.
So to add on to that for let off, I also do prefer most of my bows at 85%. So any PSEs I have, I put them at 85% and just a little bit more comfortable shooting for me.
I agree. 90%, a bow at 90% is not my favorite, especially for the guys that, hunting scenarios, you need to let the bow down. When it's at 90%, you really got to kind of force it, and it's a lot more violent, in my opinion, than something that rolls over. You've got to hold a little bit more weight, but letting it down is a little bit easier. But holding more weight, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing like some people think. You're still only holding like 12 pounds.
It's a minimal adjustment. It'd be maybe 1 or 2 pounds more depending on your draw weight.
But it does make a difference.
It does.
So there you go, guys. The Mach 35 versus the RX9 Ultra, both fantastic options. Let us know what you guys think, which bow you would prefer when it comes to these longer axle-to-axle bows. Any bow in general, carbon bows, Mach 35, RX9 Ultra, hard to beat.
And I'd also love to know, what is your favorite carbon bow? Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great options. So drop some comments, give us some feedback, let us know what you guys think. And as always, we appreciate you guys watching. Head over to the website, extremeoutfitters.com, for all of your archery and bow hunting needs. We'd be glad to help you out with anything you need. Same thing goes with questions. If you got questions, give us a call here at the shop. We're in Jacksonville, North Carolina. We've got techs on staff 7 days a week. We're open 7 days a week. So if you want to come by the shop, feel free, come in, test any of these bows, see what you think for yourself.
And also don't forget, sign up for our newsletter so that we can get signed up for exclusive savings you can only get from us.
Exactly. Lots of good things going on here at Extreme Outfitters. We'd love to have you as a customer or answer any of your questions. But until then, we will see you guys in the next video.